No! No! Shit! Shit! Oh my God! What the What the
They're here for me. Target spotted. Moving in.
Not today.
Stop! FBI!
Adapt and predict.
It's the beauty of prime sequences. They just keep you humble.
Knock, knock. Come in.
Mr. Furious?
Yeah?
I'm Officer Ramos. You're under arrest for being too smart.
For what now?
You rerouted every light in the city.
Yeah?
You're under arrest for excessive intelligence. Step away from the mic.
Wait, what? That's
It is
not
when
a
everyone
thing.
in the comments can't keep up.
Almost there. Reno. Home Sweet Studio.
Mic check.
And we're live. I told you nothing could keep me off this mic.
So, all right, Renee Good. Her name is Renee Good. Okay? Change her last name to Good. She's trying to be good. She's trying to be good, but she doesn't realize she's a useful idiot. Sorry. She died. I'm sorry, this terrible thing. Here's the article. Her wife, she has a wife. Her wife here says, I made her come down here. It's my fault. She made her do it. She got involved with a group known as Ice Watch, a loose coalition dedicated to documenting and disrupting ICE activity in the sanctuary city. And this is, she got this from her son's charter school. They promote social justice, curriculum, involvement in political activism. All right, this is something you do when you don't have kids. All right? Once I had kids and got married, everything changed. I didn't do none of this stuff after I had kids. Your first priority is your kids. All right? That's your first priority. That's who you protect first. Because then if something happens to you, you just leave them. Another situation with a single parent going through the same thing. Now, they're going to have to learn through this system that teaches you to do this kind of stuff. All right? She said she was a warrior, okay? She was trained against the ICE agents. Trained. So that was her training, to drive a Honda Passport into ICE agents, block the roadway. That's good. That's pretty good training right there. She had 3 children, under the age of 18. That's, that's why you don't do that stuff. Okay? It's terrible. She got killed. I mean, the guy, I seen it. If I was that guy, I probably wouldn't have done that. I wouldn't have shot. I wouldn't have done it, but, whatever. I wouldn't have done what she did either. Okay? You just know better. As a man, you got a family. Your wife wants to go, I'm going to go to the protest. No, you're not. You ain't going nowhere. Okay? You're not doing that. You're not some young, you're not some kid anymore. All right? You're not doing it. All right? And now going back to this, this training. She was trained against the ICE agents. All right, so everybody, when I say useful idiots, I mean the people that go ahead and protest and do all these things. They've been doing this for years, forever. They're training themselves how to not protect themselves anymore, okay? And they've been doing it up to this day. Here's an example how.
Celebrities are showing their support at March for Our Lives.
Thank you so much for fighting for change and for love and safety and for our future. I love y'all so much. Thank you.
The message against gun violence was loud and visible everywhere you looked. Demonstrators marched from Grand Park
through the streets of downtown LA, holding signs calling for a ban on assault rifles and tougher gun legislation as part of the student-led March for Our Lives rally.
They can vote for common sense gun legislation, or young people will vote them out.
It starts with raising the age for gun possession to 21. It starts with a ban on assault rifles and high-capacity magazines.
Right? And this is what the Second Amendment's for. It's not to go fight with just go in there and start fighting these people. This shouldn't have got to this point, okay? The Second Amendment is to limit the government's power, all right? And the reason their power would be limited is because if you haven't taken away your power all these years doing what this Ariana Grande and all these people were doing all these years, you would have this power. They wouldn't even probably come in these neighborhoods. They wouldn't go in there because they know, all right, everybody's packing, people are packing. We ain't gonna go in there. No, it's people have equal power to the government. That's the point. All right? That's the point of it. Nobody understands. Here you go right here. Citizens should be able to protect themselves against the government and any other threat to their well-being or personal freedom. Second Amendment granted citizens that right, giving them the ability to defend themselves and their property. But this is the big one here. The Fourth Amendment ties into this, okay? The Fourth Amendment is the right to search and seizure. It protects another fundamental individual right. It's the right of the people to secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated. All right? That ties into that. They wouldn't even think about doing that if they know everybody's has a Second Amendment and protects it and loves it. Okay? You've been giving up your power for the past 100 years, giving up this stuff away. You've been doing it. And that's what they've been doing. These politicians are saying, yeah, let's do that. And people are like, yeah, you got Alyssa Milano, you got everybody telling you to get rid of your guns, and you follow them. There you go. That's why now you have to use Honda pilots and stuff to fight these people. And you say, yeah, what am I going to do? Use guns to go and fight these people back? No, it would be a lot difficult. It would be a lot more difficult for them to go in here and do this if they knew you had guns, right? The playing field would be level. I'm not advocating to go fight the government with guns. I'm just saying that if the playing field was level, it would limit the power of any government agencies. It would limit their power because the powers would be equal. It's easy for them to go in and do whatever they want. Okay? There's this group of people, all right, called the Bundy. This is an example. I'm going to give you an example. The Bundy Ranch, okay? They believed, so there was, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of acres. And the BLM, they're called the Bureau of Land Management, not Black Lives Matter, the Bureau of Land Management, okay? All of a sudden started taking land. They said it was for like endangered species or whatever. But these people from their grandparents, great-grandparents, great-great-grandparents have been using their cattle to graze these lands for generations. And all of a sudden the government comes in and says, yeah, you know what? We're going to take these lands or you can't use your cattle to graze these lands anymore. These are now government lands. The Bundys said, you know what? We think the federal government lacks the constitutional authority to own these vast tracts of lands. And they're probably right. But it doesn't matter. The government says, no, you're not right. Okay, but either way, okay, yeah, it was 400,000 acres. And all of a sudden, the government decided to, change the rules and say, all right, we're going to eliminate the livestock grazing and strict limits to this now. And the Bundy's like, what are you talking about? We've been doing this for years. You can't just do that. So the government stole their cattle, or took their cattle. But Bundy said that you stole it. You can't just do this to us. And over the years, the Bundys accumulated more than 1 million unpaid grazing fees. All right. So anyway, here's what happened. Okay. The point is, this is the video of why the Second Amendment counts, and this is how you handle it. All right. These people were armed, loved their Second Amendment, and said, all right, government's going to come in here and take our stuff and try to think they could do what they want with us. Well, guess what? The government knows that these people are Second Amendment people, responsible Second Amendment people, okay? Not thug gangsters going around shooting people. Responsible Second Amendment people. This is what happens when the government knows that they're having equal, all right? The people are equal. And they can't just go into someone's turf and just do what they want. Because they know, all right, these people don't just have Honda passports and they're going to block us roads or whatever. This is an example of what happens.
They were all heading to this wash where the main entrance was to the pen where the BLM held his cattle.
Control IC, I need reinforcements down into the wash.
As the protesters converged on the cattle pen, law enforcement officers from a half dozen agencies scrambled to hold them off.
Where you want to set up the triage area? Behind the vehicles right here. Okay, all present.
He went there was prepared for the federal government to take lethal action.
Long guns right in front of us. I've got 2 more over here that are nailed down. It's at least 10 or 12 long guns.
I was thinking of how serious the situation had become. We had a very volatile situation right then.
Northbound lanes has rifles with scopes. Which one? Northbound, the furthest bridge.
The government had snipers and the militia put in place counter snipers. It was a level of tension and borderline violence. I was convinced it was going to go south, that it was that close. I've lost count how many dawn guns. We get many more down here, we're going to be outgunned.
Bundy, come here!
At the head of the crowd, Ammon Bundy confronted BLM agent Dan Love, demanding he release the family's cattle.
And you guys need to leave.
Okay.
You need to leave. That's the
I'm telling you, you need to de-escalate the situation.
No,
I'm imploring upon you your responsibility to de-escalate.
No,
that's it.
you're staying here until they're gone. Okay? That's what we're doing.
So I told them to pull out and pull out now.
The Bundys and their militia supporters had led an armed standoff in defiance of court orders, and no one was arrested. They even got their cows back.
All right? And you see how that ended there? The guy's like, yeah, you got it. And Bundy's guy's like, no, you got to go. That's it. They said, all right, we met our match. We can't. You know, the people have the power. And that's the point. All right? So, you know, when you start protesting and things to get rid of guns, like, just think about the future. What can this possibly do? And the kid in that video, Ariana Grande, the kid saying, yeah, we should limit magazines, capacities and assault rifle. That kid doesn't even know what she's talking about. Okay, she doesn't even know what an assault rifle is. Okay, there's no such thing as an assault rifle. Everything's a rifle. We all know this. You've probably been through this argument before. Limit magazines. What are you talking about? This is stuff she learns in school and learns through this stuff. You don't even know. This gets pushed out there, and this is why you lose your freedoms and lost your everything. People don't even know what they're doing, and this is why government agencies can just trample into your towns and do what they want, and all you're left to fight with is Honda passports. And they know that you don't. They know that you have, hey, we're going into a town with a bunch of kids that telling you no magazine. They know this. It's easy. So I'm saying, I'm sorry the lady died. I'm sorry for her kids. But her kids are still in some school that's going to be pumping in some stupid bull crap in their heads. They're still not going to learn. So, sorry to hear that. So, stay tuned for the next video. We're going to follow up on this, what's going on over there in this town over here, and see what's the next steps they're going to be taking.
Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and comment on anything you liked or didn't like.